Hello, this is my video reflection on for the UF 200 class. And so just talking about stuff that we've discussed in class and the topics that we've gone over, talking about the ethics. The first thing that we really went over was the why won't Batman kill the Joker? And we read that little essay thingy, talking about different sort of ethics and what kind of ethics Batman follows. And in class we kind of talked about like he's a loose virtue ethics person. Something that my big feelings on that essay was I just think it's stupid to like, I don't know. I just feel as though it doesn't need to be Batman who kills Joker, like capital punishment. I don't know, but also like for me, my personal ethics, if this person is like doing this like these atrocities repeatedly and it's like destroying people's lives, like honestly wouldn't feel that bad about it. Like I don't know, and maybe that's my thing with ethics in general. And what we that was kind of what I was getting also from like why Robin and is it right to make a Robin, was like this picking and choosing of ethics and like whether humans or like whoever those guys were, like Locke and Hobbes, or was it yeah, Locke, Hobbes, and Rousseau, talking about whether humans are naturally good or evil, and to me like humans aren't black and white beings necessarily, and like I don't think that you can um, specifically say what people are if it's one thing or the other. I think everybody's an amalgamation of different sort of ethics and stuff like that. So I think pinpointing certain ethics and like saying like you should follow exactly this order, like that's not going to be relevant, or uh, like it's not going to be, I don't think, relevant to people's lives, everybody's lives. There's going to be different situations, different circumstances that are going to change how people are going to act and react. And so, while I'm not saying that the study of ethics is stupid or unnecessary, because it is a great way to see how we will react or should try to like follow in society, I just think that it's not conducive to like a productive person to try and be like, oh, this is the one thing that everybody should follow, or like in every situation you should react this way. So I know that's just like kind of like, I don't know, it frustrates me when people are like, are we naturally good or are we naturally evil? And it's like a big philosophical, psychological, ethical debate, when it's like I think it's just like what Rousseau says is like we're more than that, and that we are a combination of both, and we're raised by this like the circumstances and the environment around us. Um, so then talking about kids and stuff like that, one of I think the something that I really liked in the is it right to make a Robin essay was this line where he said, or I don't know whoever the author was, when we're kids, we learn our ethics from people saying no. And then it's only when we're adults that we really get, when we're experiencing the world, and then we get ethics from different situations that we are experiencing. And I thought that was really, really interesting. And I think that's very accurate just because kids learn not to do things because of the reactions that they get from adults and stuff like that. And so that's how their ethics are formed, and that's how your ethics are. Like I think that's a very accurate description of how kids develop ethics, and then how we go into the future, and the different circumstances that we're exposed to are gonna contribute to our own ideas of ethics and stuff like that. So I really liked that. We had a great conversation at my table about ethics and for children, and if like it was right for Batman to train any of those people. And I think we said it was only right for him to train Damien, and then I think or who became Orphan, I can't remember her name, just because those two people were already in it, and like that was their life, that was their experience, and so like whereas the other Robins were brought into it by Batman, instead of like brought into a therapy office. I really liked the little conversation, the discussion that we had then. Um, and then now talking about women and our heroines in comic books. This is something that I feel very passionately about, and I'm glad that we're talking about it. After the movie, upset, main reaction. Don't know if I'm supposed to be talking about the movie, but it's kind of how this is going. So, I was just like not into the treatment of a lot of the situations of women, and I think we're gonna be having a discussion about this, so you'll hear my thoughts. But something I always thought was really interesting was that like none of the women had muscles, and we talked about that in class as well. It was like, but no muscles. So and like all of the men had just like they were huge and gigantic, but like all the women were still super skinny, and then they were able to like punch people through walls and stuff like that. And so I thought that was interesting. So my ideas for my final paper is gonna be I'm talking about the homosexuals in comic books. I'm sure I'm not the only one. I won't be the last one. But I will be trying to like talk about, I think, specifically. Well, okay. So we wanted to talk about. You said to maybe specify what you want to talk about, and I think maybe what I will do is like gay men in comic books, because that is the most relevant to me personally, and I have the most experience being a homosexual male, and so I think if you want it to be specific for that, then I think I'll just do gay men in comic books and that sort of representation. But I think I would also maybe like to look at different facets of the LGBTQ plus community as well in comic books. I got the Iceman comics, two of them. It was the Absolute Zero. There's two of these, I think, and I already read them because I was feeling passionate one day, and I got them at Barnes and Noble, and I thought that'd be a good place to start just because Iceman's one of the first superheroes I think to come out, and in a very problematic way, and so I wanted to look at the comics. I guess these are, I'm not completely sure. I think these are pretty close after he finds out that he is gay, and like his younger self is in the same universe that he is in now. And I liked it. I thought it was interesting. It was a good read. I'll get into it later, but so I think I'm gonna start there. I would like to I'd like to stick, I think, mostly with Marvel just because I personally like Marvel. And I really like the X-Men as well, and which is convenient since it's like very that. But then I was also gonna look at I don't think it's not Marvel or DC. I don't think that are the like they're supposed to be like the Batman and Superman equivalents, but they're in like a homosexual relationship. It's like Apollo and Darksider or something. But I was planning on looking at those. So yeah, I want to stick with that subject, and I'd like to look at, I think, more X-Men comics that have that, or The Runaways as well, because of Caroline and that whole thing with her lesbianism stuff. So that's my video. It's probably a little longer than it was supposed to be, but thank you. Oh shoot, I tried to do it with my mouse.